I often felt that was the case, that parents are paying for sessions out there, and we are paying you to teach our kids to become, maybe not necessarily become footballers, but it was almost that demand of you need to be teaching constantly. And I think sometimes in coaching, it's guiding. Yes, you are educating and you're teaching, but it's trying to guide them that little bit, because you step on a football pitch and those kids need to make decisions for themselves, and there's probably thousands of decisions that go through their head in a game of football. So for you to just be telling them absolutely everything that they must do, then it's not going to help them when they step on a pitch. They need to find those solutions and answers themselves some of the times. And where they're struggling, that's where you then go in and you try and offer that wee bit extra guidance and support with them.
Yeah, I couldn't agree any more with that. I think that, for me and my friends talk about this a lot. I mean, you know, one of my close friends was a very good football player, and kind of, you know, was at like Hibs and Hearts and Dunfermline for a bit, and then ended up being captain of Lothian Thistle, and only just stopped playing a couple of years ago. So he was a decent level, but we always say this, like, how much about football is just, you know, the like feeling on the pitch and what is the right thing to do. And it's sometimes almost hard to explain. We always say that, you know, we never really got like coached like kids do now, but we could be put in situations and you make the right decision just through the feel of playing the game a lot of the time. And like you said, certainly out in the States, and, you know, I don't know if it's getting a little bit like that here. I think the world is, to be honest, but there's so much teaching that we're losing just that, like, that natural feel of the game. You know, you look at, obviously, probably the greatest example is Lionel Messi, the way he moves, the way he plays, unteachable. Like, no one's coached him that. I mean, of course, he's been helped along the way, being at La Masia at Barcelona, but no one's taught him how to move and how to do all that type of stuff. So it's an interesting debate. We used to have I had this guy in California at the club I was at. He was an Argentinian guy, fantastic coach, and he'd talk about climbing trees and stuff. He would talk about that, and he was big into like setting up sessions for 10 minutes at the start with just like hurdles and poles, and just having kids, like, just nothing football wise, like just have them like jump through poles and over hurdles and almost kind of mess about for 10 minutes, but you're giving them that like robustness of doing things. And he was into like doing like, you know, somersaults, and my first reaction coming from Scotland was like, what is this? But then when you think about it, like you say, his point was the kids aren't doing this anymore. Is there a way we can maybe bring it into them for 5-10 minutes in a session that would maybe help them along? And it was just it was a different way of thinking. It was interesting.
It's funny that, because I sometimes think that, yeah, some of the football classes that we might run in East Lothian, and it's kids as young as 2 or 3 or whatever, and parents sometimes come along and expect it to be football and games of football, when actually we're just trying to get them building up their mobility skills. Can they run? Can they turn? And you introduce the ball a little bit and try and build up that relationship with the kid and the ball. But it's more developing, trying to coordination and other aspects, rather than the actual. Kids don't understand, right? It's a 2v2 game here, and you're trying to score a net goal against that team. That's beyond what they can comprehend initially. It's just trying to build up those coordination skills in the first instance, because until they have that and they can run and they can move freely, then they're not then going to be able to add in dribbling with a football or kicking a football at the same time. So
exactly.
Yeah,